just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City. DeLeone and Sean Anderson, two former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. Today, we will be previewing Week 11 of college football. There's a lot of big games that are coming up, but we are going to be focusing our attention on, of course, Michigan versus Penn State and Georgia versus Ole Miss. Sean, before we get to that, though, can you just share a quick word to our listeners from our sponsor, BetOnline?
Well, I'm not going to detail everybody about the Monday night bloodbath, which is just what you have to call the betting experience at this point. But
did you bet the over?
Ooh, who could have told you that I bet the over? And I was
you took
and
the
I was
over?
sitting happy because there were 14 or 17 points scored in the first quarter.
You should be lobotomized for doing that.
There were for a 41-point over-under and 14 points are scored in the first quarter. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty good. And then they just stopped scoring points. Turnovers. Nobody likes taking sacks like Justin Herbert. Nobody can do it better than him. He might be fraud. Regardless, if you want to feel this type of emotion, head on over to the sports betting enterprise that we call BetOnline. It's your number one source for all wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions, all the hoops betting action, all the sports that you need. If you're a golf dork, I'm sure you can bet on that when it comes back. Head to BetOnline today and remember to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus to your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Top 4 annoying person in the world, somebody that just got into golf.
I don't disagree with that. They ranked Iowa, by the way. Iowa
Good.
made its way into the college football playoff ranking. I don't know how you put Iowa in, but you don't put Rutgers in with the way that they played this past weekend. It is what it is. I know that you hate that. You don't want to give Rutgers any credit.
The two are playing each other this weekend.
Iowa, yeah, and we're going to find out that Iowa is not. No. Rutgers is a better football program than Iowa. Best over-under ever in the world, by the way, the fact that game is only 28 points. Sean, let's start us off with Michigan versus Penn State. Now, I don't know how. It's only Tuesday when we're taping this, and I've managed to do an insane amount of coverage on this game because I did it on Ruffino and Joe. I went on a podcast that is hosted by somebody who is a Michigan alum, and then I just guest hosted a Penn State football podcast filling in for somebody. So I've spent way too much time talking about this game already by Tuesday. This one, I still don't have, though, a total pulse on how I think it's going to play out. I think that there are roster advantages for Penn State in the fact that they're at home that's going to play in Penn State's favor. But overall, I just can't see. I cannot see Michigan losing this football game. I know that everything that they've been dealing with, they seem like a program that easily is galvanized when their back is up against the wall and everybody's against them. They did that at the beginning of the season when Harbaugh was suspended. No matter what happens, I think that Michigan is just so fierce up front on both sides of the football that they're going to come out and win this game.
So before the show started, I had a really irritating conversation, and it wasn't with Joe for once. And I feel like I can draw a parallel to the sports world as a host. I feel like we should be able to do that. The conversation was about baked mac and cheese versus Kraft mac and cheese. And I was relayed the information that the Kraft or boxed mac and cheese was better than baked mac and cheese with real cheese and noodles and the breadcrumbs on top, and it's baked, and that's what it's supposed to be. That is the better form of mac and cheese than your Easy Mac, than your Kraft, than your Velveeta's. Michigan is baked mac and cheese. They're always going to be better. Penn State, flashy, does it in a trick. You know, if you need it, it'll hit. It'll be fine for you. But it's going to play out like this. Michigan's going to win. Michigan's going to win by 12, maybe 13. Baked mac and cheese beats boxed mac and cheese by 12 or 13 consistently. If Penn State wanted me to say they were going to give Michigan a challenge, they should have played better against Ohio State. And they didn't. That's what I have to draw upon because that's the only team that they've played. Michigan, and if somebody's going to say, oh, well, this is their first test of the year. True. True. But they have handled their cupcake schedule with ease. And I feel like they are going to, I don't think they're going to take Penn State lightly, but I feel like they're just going to march up and down the field, and Penn State's offense is going to be stagnant.
That's kind of where I'm at right now with this. That's kind of where I sit, where I see a path. I see a path for Penn State in the game because JJ McCarthy has been better this year, but we know that he has those meltdown games in his back pocket. Like he's capable of doing that. And I
look
got
at that. It's somewhere in there. He can fumble around and find it.
I think the difference between him and Kyle McCord is that when Kyle McCord plays bad, he's just like bland white toast. He just doesn't really do anything exciting, but he doesn't really do anything that's like, oh my God, that's terrible. Like he'll just throw the football away and he'll miss a receiver and hold the ball too long. But when JJ McCarthy has a bad game, he throws multiple picks or a pick six. And it really, and this happened against Purdue, but because Purdue is so weak offensively, it didn't even matter. He'll miss guys like poorly. His placement when he's not in rhythm is bad the entire game. He will be out of rhythm for most of the game because he just can't get back into that normal pace of the game. So that's in his potential here. And I think that if we look at the matchup of if Chop Robinson plays in this game, that defensive front is going to be aggressive, and they're equipped with their secondary with Kalen King, Daquan Hardy, Johnny Dixon. That group is in a position to go one-on-one across the board because Michigan's receivers are good, but they're not scary good. They're not Ohio State good. They can go one-on-one coverage and load the shit out of the box. They can do that. But like what you're talking about here, I think that Michigan, and you're catching Michigan at the worst time. They're pissed off. They're really pissed off. They're clearly mad at everybody in the Big Ten. They are so upset with the way that they're being treated. They're going to try and embarrass anybody that they play, any opportunity that they
Are they distracted, though? That's the big difference.
I don't feel like
they are
They
either.
don't come off as a team.
I don't feel like they are either.
Right.
It doesn't feel... It feels like, okay, this would be like if Donnie did something goofy and ended up on the news, right? Like if Donnie went, who was a right-hand man, every man for the football program. If you needed bagels, he could get you bagels. If you needed help with the equipment, he could help with the equipment. The Connor Stallion situation for Michigan feels like if Donnie did something goofy or detrimental. Like, okay, that's not great, but it's Donnie. It's not the big man doing it. It's not one of the players that got caught or did something. It's another guy. And I love Donnie, and that's cool. But I don't think the impact of the game, unless we see how much that these signs were helping them, like when we saw the Astros batting averages go down tremendously after they got caught. I don't see that happening with Michigan, though.
Right. Okay, so here's...
I think their talent can supersede cheating, if that makes sense. Or not even cheating, being aware, an extra level of preparation.
And I think we already have proof that it does supersede cheating because clearly they haven't been doing it over the past couple of weeks, or they would be stupid to try to after everything that happened. But I tweeted this last night, and I was spending some time breaking down this Michigan defensive front because I was evaluating them. And their whole group is just so violent. Like the whole group. Mason Graham in the interior, Josiah Stewart, Derek Moore on the outside, Chris Jenkins as well.
Jenkins is a beast.
It is.
Are they still doing the lineup like a yard off the ball thing? I have not watched a ton of Michigan because why would I? It's all blowouts. I don't like that, but if they're getting off violent out of that, I can appreciate it.
But they not only have that front, but they also rotate other guys in, which is frightening. But the way that they play, they're fast off the ball, and they're like a group that's just punching the shit out of everyone's chest. They're swimming, they're swiping. It's all clubs and just aggressive moves when you're going up against offensive lines. And I think Penn State's offensive line is good. I think that Olu Fashanu is a really good player, but their guard play and their right tackle, they're fine. I'm not really scared of either of those positions on that Penn State offensive line. So that could be a really long day for Drew Aller, who we saw have problems. They, for some dumb reason, against Ohio State, asked him to throw the ball way too many times. Like we could end up in a game here where they overthink it, they throw the ball way too much, and Drew Aller ends up on his back.
I'm getting a bit of a premonition the more that we talk about this game. You want me to tell you how it's going to go? First quarter is going to be a snoozer. Neither offense does much of anything. Defense is still fresh on both sides. Drew Aller overwhelmed, a couple 3-and-outs. McCarthy, shocking slow start for the Michigan Wolverines. They score 3 points on the final drive of the first quarter. 3-0 going into the second quarter. Penn State might get a touchdown in the second quarter. Michigan definitely does. 1 score game at half. Second half doesn't matter. Michigan's defense gets their legs back under them. Penn State can't recover. Michigan goes on to win by double digits. That's how it's going to go. I hate to spoil it. I wish I could build more intrigue for you, but I'm more concerned in being right. And it's just how the game is going to go. And the most important of the game of the year, which we have had penciled in since May, and we all knew it was going to be the biggest game, and we just had a hope that Penn State was going to do something. That we had a hope that Penn State could provide a challenge. We still do a little bit. I still do. It'll make things way more interesting. But the biggest game in the Big Ten is Ohio State, Michigan. We knew it after the season last year. We knew it all off season.
Right.
Week 1, we saw, the teams are back and the uniforms, and the stadiums are filled, and there's no more COVID, and we're chilling. But the whole time, you're just like, let's get to the third week of November, and we get back to the best game of the year and what it's going to be. And that still might be a snoozer. But this game, Penn State, Michigan, unless I'm proven wrong defiantly, and it is a crazy-ass upset, or it's a crazy good game, I feel like is going to be pretty sleepy. And it's just going to be another typical Michigan win where they grind you out, their defense is solid, and they're better coached than you, and they make the right decisions.
They are in a position now to continue to build momentum. Michigan, again, I kind of agree with you. I really do think that Michigan's win this football game. Great analysis there for how this game's going to play out. Georgia versus Ole Miss.
This one I want to believe in more. Believe in this one way more.
We did this last week with Missouri, and it wasn't necessarily a blowout like I kind of envisioned it. But I think that Ole Miss, and it hasn't been talked about enough, Ole Miss is weaker than Missouri, in my opinion. I don't think that they have anywhere near the same level of receiver room. And we saw that Luther Burden was completely eliminated. Now that I just heard you say something about quarterbacks, Jackson Dart's much better than Brady Cook. He's significantly better than Brady Cook. They have a better running game. What was an issue for Georgia last week was Cody Schrader and Brady Cook running the football. Jackson Dart, Quinshon Judkins are going to be critical for the performance of this game. But, I mean, how can we, especially after Georgia was ranked number 2 in the college football playoff ranking, which just happened as we're speaking, how we can come to this, how can we think that they're not going to be motivated and pissed off again to
just
prove
keep
a point?
Motivating Georgia. It's frustrating that they keep doing that. They are the number 1 team. They dismantled Missouri. The whole time you knew Georgia was going to win. Missouri played hard for 4 quarters. We all knew that's what was going to happen. But Georgia won it, and we knew Georgia was winning it going in. We know Georgia's going to win this game. We don't know exactly how. We don't know if it's going to be a lack of creativity from Lane Kiffin like he did versus Alabama, where he played uber.
Oh my God, I completely forgot about
conservative. That. Where in this game, hey, Lane Kiffin, all up until that game on Twitter, it was chaos. The theme of the year. And then in the game, you're calling plays from the 70s. It looks like it's just conservative ass play calls. You know how to scheme up an offense. Go out and do something to Georgia. What are you trying to prove? That you can run a better conservative balanced offense? No. Win the damn football game, Lane. Win the game. Challenge them. Get them on their heels. Because if you go out like you did versus Alabama, Georgia's just going to casual walk through the park, 4 quarters. Oh, we won. Nice. That's what we do. We're Georgia. You're Lane Kiffin. You're Ole Miss. You're going to continue to lose to us. That's what it feels like. It feels like a continuation of the Lane Kiffin can't do it against the 1 and 2 teams. You can't.
That's a really good point that you bring up here with, I don't know why. I still don't understand.
Why would he do that?
Why Ole Miss was presented an opportunity, an advantageous situation where you have roster advantages.
They weren't even rolling
Alabama.
then. They were as vulnerable as they've been all season.
No. Right. They were in a position to just completely put away Bama, and Lane Kiffin pooped his pants on all national over TV, worse than I've seen any coach, any play caller do this season. And what I mean by that, to elaborate, he has been in his bag multiple weeks. Like even last week when their defense played like crap against Texas A&M, they put up a ton of points. But why against Alabama are you just reverting to jet sweeps and screens? He can't get too cute with it, man. He cannot get too cute with this play calling. I have to add this in here though, why I'm very optimistic for Georgia to win this game a lot easier than they did the Missouri game. Ole Miss's defense stinks. It stinks. They almost let Texas A&M back into the game. They got completely smoked against LSU. I don't think that Georgia's offense is in that upper echelon conversation.
Not without Brock Bowers.
Right, but it's really consistent. It's really easy. And I think the best example of their offensive prowess was the way that they put against Kentucky. And can we sit here and say that Ole Miss's defense is heads above Kentucky's? I think they're going to run the ball really easily, and they're just going to throw up a bunch of points on the board. Lane's going to be playing catch up. I love that word
that you're using, easy. It does look easy for Georgia when they're running offense. And that's every college football fan's, it's every football fan's dream. And Lane, I hate to go back to Lane. How much more can we say about Georgia? Good offense, great defense, great coach. Okay. There was a play that Lane drew up a year ago, maybe 2 years ago against Florida, right? And they were backed up on like their 15-yard line. Lane, I knew it was a Lane play, and it was a viral clip because Lane threw his clipboard while the ball was still in the air. Do you recall this play?
Yeah, I do.
Magical play. He said, this circumstance, this situation, I know exactly what we need, and he did. And it was executed perfectly. Balls in the air, caught, throw the clipboard up. I'm Lane Kiffin. Look at me. I just outcoached your ass. Goes for 85 yards and a touchdown. Huge play. Show me something like that, because you can do it. You can do that. Will you? Probably not.
Well, you're gonna need some perfect play calls to get past Kamari Lassiter and Javon Bullard and Malachi Starks and all those guys. Because I hate this, that on Rufino and Joe, I've been characterized as somebody who keeps glazing Georgia. It has gone so far as people. Okay, a lot of people have been accusing me of even being a Georgia fan, which is hilarious because I rooted against them in last year's national championship game. Screw you, fucker.
Show people your Todd Gurley jersey.
I don't have a Todd Gurley jersey. Oh, I saw him at the Kings game a couple weeks ago. Total ADD moment. Yeah, he was. We were walking in because I've seen him before in person at the Super Bowl a couple years ago when it was in LA. And he stands out like a sore thumb because he's huge. He does not look like a running back.
I love Todd Gurley. I love Todd Gurley. Everything about I loved when he was in Atlanta. I loved everything.
He's a house.
College, the Rams. Yeah, he's a big fan of his.
Yeah, he was coming in the same entrance we were coming in, and then he had like we were sitting, we could see him sitting right down by the glass. But my whole point is here, I keep talking up Georgia, and I think it's justified because they've got all these next first-round picks in the wings that are just coming, not this year, but in the 2025 NFL draft. We're going to be like, wait, there were 3 defensive backs taken in the first round? It's going to be one of those things. And, this is another linebacker or defensive lineman that's going in the beginning of the second round. This is an unbelievable unit again. It just doesn't have a Jalen Carter. That doesn't mean it's not good.
Yeah, I gotcha. That makes sense.
Stop doubting.
I'm not. I am following your fandom.
Yes,
I'm following your Joe DeLeone specific Georgia fandom.
All right, betting picks, Sean. Let's get right into the betting picks. Last week I went 1-2. You went 2-1. You're closing the gap a little bit, But we need to quickly remind ourselves here that all of these pushes you've had are not to your benefit. They're to your detriment. 20, 12, and 1. By the way, I'm saying that as a clarification of you have to, it's the most correct picks by the end of the season. We're on the same page here?
You're just making up rules now.
Because I don't...
Just making up rules.
That's not making up rules. I'm just trying to clarify here that we're not going by overall winning percentage, which even the pushes don't help you. Because the overall...
There you go.
Wait. Which would you rather? Because we need to settle this now.
Percentage, please. I don't want you jobbing this like you do all of our competitions and contests.
I think it should be total correct picks. Why wouldn't it be total correct picks?
Why don't we score pushes as a loss?
Because it's not scored as a it shouldn't be counted, but it shouldn't count towards anything.
Yes, it should. It should just be counted towards percentage. No, that's the game. That's how it goes.
A push is nothing. A push is nothing.
Sitting on a Sunday night
percentage
begging for a push at times. You don't know how many times I prayed for a push. Give me a push at least. Let me salvage this.
All right. Well, then on that note, let me calculate really quickly the overall winning percentage. Right now, I am at 63%. Sean is at 50%.
Yeah, you're damn right I am.
So you have... All right. Calm down over there, Buckaroo. You're still 12% down.
Well, I'm about to be up another 7.6% after this week.
Looks
like another 8-0 week for Joe at AYS Sports. Another 8-0 perfect week. Worst tweet I see every weekend.
Shut the hell up.
It's the worst.
I'm just trying to talk
week
shit
for Joe.
It'd be nice if you tweeted about our show once. God forbid. Yeah. You're once a week. I've
been welcoming citizens into the city of Hack all week. I've been closing gaps and crossing bridges with others that have, I've had discourse, and I've brought people...
heckling and debating people from Montana.
You've been heckling and debating people from Louisiana. So if that's how you want to do this, we could do this.
Bigger fan base in Louisiana.
I would actually wager it'd be closer than you think with all the different schools in Louisiana. Louisiana Lafayette.
There's one good
Louisiana
football
Tech,
program in Louisiana. All right, picks this week. Shut the hell up.
Yeah,
picks this week. My first one, Kansas -3 versus Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech is strangely overrated in this matchup, and Kansas is rolling right now. I don't know if Jalen Daniels comes back, but he's been playing really freaking good. For this to only be a 3-point line, that is easy money.
Talk about glazing. Look at the clapping cheeks chat. Yeah, that's a fine pick. You're a coward, by the way. And I know you're a coward because that's not how you should have opened it up with your betting picks. That's how I know you feel. You feel the footsteps because there's a team playing another team in the Big Ten that you normally bet on, but you're a little scared.
I didn't like the line.
I thought they always covered. I thought the proud Italian Americans at Rutgers always covered.
Rutgers typically covers, but they're not a hot team anymore. I have a new hot team that I'm betting on. I'm not betting on this week. They need to regain their juice before I bet on them again.
You turned your back on your team and your country.
Pick your.
I'm taking Nebraska getting 2.5 versus Maryland. Maryland fell apart.
Terrible pick. Nebraska couldn't beat Michigan State.
You don't think that Matt Rule wants to go out with a bang in his first year? Beating Maryland would be a big step, and he is a long-term guy. He is going to beat Maryland.
He lost to scandal-ridden Michigan State.
They had to win one game. He is going to beat Maryland because they took Michigan State lightly, and you can keep making those faces if you want to. I hate that you didn't take Rutgers. You're such a coward and a fraud. Nebraska's going to win this game. They're going to win this game. Matt Rule is going to get these guys up for this game.
Okay. Georgia Tech plus 14.5 versus Clemson. Typical book over correction here. Georgia Tech has been the spoiler all season long. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to win this game, but 14.5 points against a team that can barely score. Are you kidding me? Give me Georgia Tech 14.5. That's easy fucking money. That hat sucks, by the way.
You don't like this hat? Keep wearing the same one.
No, just
That's great. People like being able to see a video and not be able to tell the difference between one of the other videos. Nice 1 of 3 shirts and nice 1 of 2 hats. Idiot.
All right.
Ladies' glasses. Talking about books, but you know a lot about them, dork. I'm going to DeLeone. I want to be a librarian. I know about the Dewey Decimal System. Oh, there's a new Bill Walsh book out. I'm going to go read it. Shut up. Arizona giving 10.5 to Colorado. Arizona's hot. Colorado is not a team with positive momentum. They're going to cover the 10.5. They are going to beat Colorado by 11. Shedeur Sanders has taken 1,000 hits, no, 1,000,000 hits this season. Banged up team. The team has lost steam. Arizona giving 10.5.
It's not bad. Yeah, that's not a bad one. My last one, Oklahoma State -3 versus UCF. Again, hot team. They're playing really well. They're putting up a lot of points.
Great line.
The UCF -3, man. They're garbo. UCF's not that good.
It's a great line. I like that line. That's a line I will be taking in my personal life. Excited for that. Why not?
Don't. You better not take that pick. You better not take that pick because you're gonna jinx me.
I'm not going to jinx you.
You've done this multiple times.
You've done this
multiple times in multiple ways.
Again,
they're on a bye this week.
I'll put in a future. I'll put in a 2024 future national champs. Make sure it doesn't happen. My final line, my final bet. Texas giving 10 to TCU. TCU's been meh. Texas is still playing for something. They're the last team in the Big 12 with even a fighting chance at the CFP. It's not going to do much for them if they beat TCU, but if they stop them, couldn't hurt. So I think that Texas still trying to get, what is it? Is he was throwing again week to week, I believe. Probably, I don't think he would play just on guesstimation. It doesn't matter. They're going to beat TCU by more than 10 points.
Yeah, I hate this pick. I think that the fact that they played as poorly as they did against Kansas State is a pretty good indicator that they're not going to beat anybody by more than 10 points. Sean, last thing that I want to talk about here before we wrap in our other thoughts segment. I really don't understand how we've managed to get to this level of chaoticness with the Connor Stallion situation. So today, the latest update is that he used to live in or he bought a house in Ann Arbor following his time as a Marine. And before he joined the Michigan coaching staff, it seemed he was operating a repair business for vacuums out of his house. It was reported by his neighbors that. Did you see this update?
No, you're not getting trolled by like Butt Crack Sports, are you?
No, I am not getting trolled by. This is a real thing. I'm trying to pull up the tweet. He was selling and repairing vacuums out of his house, and then he was reported by the homeowners association or whatever in the neighborhood, and he went and fought the claim in court. He went and represented himself, and in his statement in court, he pointed out that he thought that it was the Michigan State fan down the street who reported him because he was offended by his presence as a Michigan fan. That was what he brought up. There's also reviews on Amazon that I'm going to pull up in a second that are referencing how terrible he was at fixing said vacuums. But this whole situation just keeps adding unnecessary, ridiculous details.
This guy is... I don't know if I can call him a better story than September Colorado. He's really approaching it because you kind of have to keep learning more information on him. He is a psychopath, a maniac. He is deranged, but set with a non-dangerous set of principles and morals that makes it intriguing to see what the hell he's capable of next. Like, he's not out here really causing harm to people, but you're just like, when is he gonna? You know, when's he gonna?
Oh man.
Like, when is it Connor Stallion punches Minnesota fan? Like, when does that happen?
Wait, so okay, Lane Higgins, who works for the Wall Street Journal, posted some screenshots of some of these reviews. I'm going to read some of these reviews. This was supposed to be completely refurbished and like new. It arrived with dirt and hair in the canister, rotating floor brush, hose, and tool. There are numerous scratches on the unit, and the unit smells terrible. Vacuum was absolutely not like new, and it was described as described in SAW listing. Roller of vacuum was dirty, hose was dirty, plenty of visible dust and dirt build up visible in roller brush housing, and there was even dirt still in the vacuum collection cup. No instructions and no attachments were included. Returning scam vacuum. This is supposed to be a good use product. The electrical plug for the vacuum was cut off and also missing the crevice vacuum attachment. This is the second vacuum cleaner sent out. First one was full of plaster dust in the motor as well as the collector bin. Very disappointed with the vendor for their customer service and poor product condition. And then this is the last one. Missing the entire base. It was supposed to be like new, but it was also filthy and the trash bin was caked in filth. Box also extremely damaged. I know accidents can happen, but out of thousands of purchases made just on Amazon, this is for me. Again, it's hilarious how he was so goddamn terrible. He's clearly a detailed individual, and he was so
busy.
terrible
Why
at
did he
fixing
get off his
vacuums.
ass? He was writing a manifesto.
What?
He was busy.
What are you talking about? Hold the man accountable for being dog shit at fixing vacuums.
He was busy. He had stuff to do. He was never home. I bet he just had his buddy named like Taz, just staying at his place, just working on the vacuums while he was out scouting. It was a nice little alibi. I bet he never even touched a vacuum. I bet he never did.
So your claim is that this was part of the
100%.
ploy. So his way of instead of covering his tracks appropriately was, I'm going to create a diversion by selling cheap, shitty vacuums on Amazon.
How'd I pay for these? How'd I pay for these tickets? How'd I get so close? I got a side hustle fixing vacuums. Look at me. I'm not getting paid by Michigan or the petty cash drawer. No. Look at my side hustle. I can fix these vacuums up. And it's also a great side hustle. If you really don't care about it, you're not a vacuum. Yeah, give me your vacuum. I'll do it for $50 right now. And then you just give it, bang it up a little bit, throw it back. You still get $50.
Yeah.
Paying for some hotels with that.
I love how this epitomizes though the side hustle community, where it's just a bunch of idiots who don't know what they're doing, who are just mashing a bunch of shit together. They buy things and then fix it up and then just sell it to some sucker, kind of a deal.
I could restore a table. I'll just sand it down. Here it is, restored. Take it back.
Just a completely like finished, like really high quality table. You're just gonna sand the shit out of it. Take the finish off the top.
Okay, I'll give it a full restoration for you. $180. I just have some like 60 grit sandpaper, just going at it. I'm sorry.
I think you should invest in doing.
Stop joking around. Stop joking around. All right, because I know I could do it.
This is how you and I are going to pay for rent in New York City, because it's definitely not going to be through work.
Oh.
We're going to get like a massive apartment, and we're going to do it through poorly. I
need you to stop joking around, because I do have a good way that we could make money that is easy and simple, and it's basically paint by color.
Starting
custom
OnlyFans
rugs.
What you know how to make a rug? Do you know how to make a rug?
Carpet gun.
Okay, we're already fucked if you're saying yarn.
Some rug glue and a projector, and then a shaver,
you think
and then
like
a shaver to get the edges.
How many rug creation videos?
Don't even ask how many
I've
followed. I follow so many on Instagram because I know I can do it, and I know if I get you to work, you could do it also.
I know you're not artistic enough.
That's why you have the projector, so you see it, and then you got the rug gun, and then you're filling in.
My God! You think it's that simple? That's okay. That's the equivalent.
If you take a piss on this idea, I will be upset.
So you're telling me if I got a fucking projector, I could completely recreate like the Mona Lisa if I projected it and I sat there and
No,
tried
but
to
you could do
hand draw it?
Pikachu, and there's thousands of idiots that'll buy that. You have Pikachu. If you decide, all right, I'm going to do Pikachu holding a Budweiser, you could sell hundreds, and it would be the easiest stencil that you have.
Pikachu holding a oh my god.
No, but I
There has
better
to be
not
like
see that rug somewhere
a
because I know one of you guys stole it and told your rug plug.
there's got to be like a 3D printer that makes rugs. There's got
Are
to
you
be.
dumb?
Because I'm not
you
wasting my
dumb?
time hand making one of these things. What do you
3D
mean, am I
printer?
dumb?
They print out of plastic. And you have to invest
I
in
know
super
that they-
software,
I
and you have
know
to be an
that-
engineer at basically. You're thinking of
Okay,
screen
but there's
printing.
got to be some
You're
of
thinking of, oh yeah, that I know a guy that can give me a custom T-shirt. If I give him the design, he'll put it on some nice cotton shirts, and I'll be able to get it large to 4X if I need it. That's what I can do.
there's got to be some type of machinery that I'm saying that I'm saying that there's something that probably can spin, and if there isn't, we should spend the time and the energy inventing some type of machine.
You're messing with
even though we have no technical
breakdown.
No, we're not artistic. You're not artistic. I know for a goddamn fact that you do not have the hands or the technical skill or the finesse to put together a Pikachu rug holding a
Budweiser.
Light. You are instead Budweiser. You're going to end up making a gigantic yellow blob with two red dots on it.
You think I can't do it?
A blue, thick rectangle.
You don't know what color
I don't think
Budweiser is. Budweiser's red, idiot.
Red. I will give you $1,000. $1,000 if you. Or actually, wait. Do you not want to? I don't want to do a monetary bet here.
That's what I thought. Because you know I'm the follow-through guy.
Let's do something.
I'm a dude.
No, because I will pay.
Through.
Let's put some real stakes on this, okay? Let's put some real stakes on this. I'm trying to think of something something stupid that I want you to do. But if you can purchase these things and produce a rug,
completely no selling me because you want me to do something stupid. You can make money doing this. This is a money-making endeavor that you could do.
But I
can.
You specifically cannot do this. I watch you mash your fingers on a keyboard trying to edit a podcast. I know for a fact that you can't weave a rug.
I'm not weaving. I've watched rug weaving videos, and those poor ladies and gentlemen are breaking their backs because they have intricate. They have sewing devices, and the Persian rugs can take decades to finish because they're so intricate. I'm talking rug gun, paint by numbers, literally fill in the colors where you're supposed to. It's not art.
I just can't believe that you think that all you need to do is throw up a projector and then sit there and just say,
"Oh my god, the projector is facing the back of the carpet. You shoot it through the back. It's not. I'm not looking at the projector and then
send me one of these videos.
I'll send one to you right now.
I am blown away. Also, biggest part that you're overlooking here. What goddamn time do you have to produce one of these things? It's going to take you 6+ hours to put one together. Are you going to charge $1,000 per shitty rug that you make? No, you're not going to do that, Sean.
People will buy them.
Okay, what's 250?
Oh my god, Joe!
6?
I found a perfect one for you. Here you go, jackass. Right, using a projector, and you know what they're doing? Painting by numbers. I sent it to you on Instagram.
Where are you sending it to me? Did you like what I sent to you before that? Oh, you can't.
I'm not saying I can make that. I have not reached that level.
There actually requires like artistic capabilities of being able to draw this stuff.
It's tracing.
This would take you 10 hours. It's not. It's not just this looks complicated. This looks
Pikachu isn't complicated. You know who else isn't complicated? Bart Simpson.
Wait, so what what I'm basically taking are just yellow characters.
Yeah, it'll be yellow. It'll be called Yellow Rugs. You can do the smiley face rug.
It's gonna be
Hypeland sells.
You're gonna do Bart Simpson wearing Bape and Pikachu holding Budweiser. Those are the only two that you're going to be able to
Joe,
capably sell.
You
is
look
what
at
I'm
this
understanding.
and tell me you couldn't stencil that.
No, I can't, because I'm not stupid. I know that I'm not artistic. They're actually. It is insulting to these people that you think that you are in the same skill level.
And you could do that.
You could do the. You could do the star. You could do the star. You can't do Kirby.
This probably sold for $500.
I don't know about that. At Joe DeLeone at Sanderson.
That's all you
Radio.
need
Thanks
to
for
do.
tuning in. Oh my god.
It's all you
Oh
need
my
to do.
god. Please hit the subscribe button. I don't know why you listen. I don't know why you tune in. I'm sorry that we wasted your time. Please just go home, find a new hobby.
You know what a good hobby would be? Rug making.